Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. If you don't know me, I'm the Mark of the Masters, the man with a plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some wrestling today. TNA Impact 4/10/2014. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may be surprised to see that I have a special guest with me. It is my Can-Am brother from the north, my Canadian compadre, my tag team brother, Mr. Andre Corbeil. It is not Saturday, Andre. This isn't the Can-Am Wrestling Show. What are you doing here, brother?
OneWrestling.com, baby. We'll see you at the matches. That's what I'm doing here.
Yeah, man. For you guys who don't know, this is where it all began. Me and Andre. I used to follow Andre. Andre used to follow me, and we kind of dug each other's stuff, and we ended up going into OneWrestling.com and doing, I think, some TNA. Videos regarding the X Division, so on and so forth. You have to go way back in the OneWrestling.com library. But listen, I'm going to start this show off before we get into the Impact review, and I want to talk really briefly. Andre Corbeil's YouTube page, with 7,000 plus subscribers, was terminated unjustly. Now, there are trolls out there, there are haters out there, there are people out there that just don't like to see other people succeed, so they actually flagged one of his videos, which had nothing bad on it. There was nothing wrong with it, no copyright infringement, so on and so forth. So we actually have a petition. Andre, I want you to get into that, my friend.
Everybody out there, please remember this. Take to your social media, whether it be Google+, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, all your social media outlets. Hashtag reinstate Andre Corbeil space at YouTube. And let's get this channel back, because we've lost the history of the Can-Am Wrestling Show. And if you're a fan of the Can-Am Wrestling Show and tune in and support us like we know you do, we know that you guys will back us and protect the legacy of the brand and the show that Big Ray and I put our heart and soul into for each and every one of you fans worldwide. So please take to your social media networks, hashtag reinstate Andre Corbeil at YouTube. And I'm still here, everybody. I'm just as knowledgeable. I'm just as passionate. And my spirit isn't broken yet, so...
All right, what I want you guys to do out there here at OneWrestling.com, though, we have thousands of subscribers. If you want to be part of a knowledgeable, passionate wrestling fans, opinion, show, so on and so forth, I want you guys to go on YouTube, look up Andre Corbeil 2. That's Andre Corbeil, the number 2. We have established a secondary YouTube page. So we want you guys to go on there. The Can-Am Wrestling Show will continue this Saturday on that page, Andre Corbeil 2. Now, really quickly, you can follow Andre at Andre_Corbeil. On Twitter, follow me at Big Ray Show, and don't forget to follow the legend, Mr. Bill Apter, at Apter One Wrestling, and of course follow us here at One Wrestling. So, Andre,
OneWrestling.com, One Wrestling video, Apter One Wrestling, and Big Ray Show on Twitter, baby. And Wrestling News Talk on Facebook is where you can find the petition, everybody, to share your opinions and let YouTube and Google know that you're upset about this decision, this unjust choice to terminate my hard work. Now, I don't bother anybody. I try and bring you guys news, previews, predictions, reviews, Q&As, Q&A response videos, wrestling reaction videos, and like I said, the Can-Am Wrestling Show. If you want the library to be alive and not wither away, please visit Wrestling News Talk on Facebook and leave your opinions. I'm going to paste everybody's opinions with my letter to Google, and the more the merrier. So we're all in this for one thing, wrestling, and I appreciate the support already, guys. Taking to Twitter last night, and yeah, Rob Kimball making the video, Jeffrey Rose making the video, and each and every one of you guys, yes, supporting me, and I love you for it, so thank you.
well, guys, again, we're going to jump into this Impact report, but please, I'm going to try to post the Wrestling News Talk link below here on Facebook. Please share it. Listen, even if you have friends that don't watch wrestling, I'm sure there's been multiple occasions where somebody's done something to you that just wasn't right, and you had no way of fighting back. Well, this is our way of fighting back. It's not fair that we put a lot of work into the Can-Am Wrestling Show. He puts a lot of work into his show. But anyway, guys, enough of the griping, enough of the crying, enough of feeling down. Andre, something really amazing just happened this week on TNA Impact Wrestling. This has been one hell of a week for wrestling in general. Now, I'm going to start the show off really quickly by saying rest in peace.
Oh, yes.
The Ultimate Warrior, a.k.a. James Bryan hell week. I shot a video. Andre shot a video. You can check it out at Andre Corbeil 2. Where we
That's my video that got terminated, Ray, on the channel, and it's alive and well on this secondary channel with no problems. So that proves right then and there that there's some form of chicanery, jealousy, and it's got to stop. Ultimately, the power isn't in the hands of the content creators who make all of their efforts, tireless efforts, putting in countless hours, even spending money like on mics, lighting, all sorts of things pertaining and relating to that. So I think something has to change in the structure for the content creator to be protected because, hey, right now the power's in the mouse.
10-4, my friend. Andre, let's jump into this Impact Wrestling show.
You betcha.
Where we basically started off with a gauntlet match. We had 10 competitors fighting for a chance or the opportunity to fight for the TNA World Heavyweight title, and at Sacrifice coming this month. Now we had I'm just gonna run down the list of all the competitors, and you're gonna explain what basically happened in the match. We had Gunner, Bobby Roode, Bully Ray, EC3, Bobby Lashley, Eric Young, Abyss, and he wasn't listed to be on this gauntlet, but it was Sonata, the X Division champion, and of course Jeff Hardy, aka Willow. Now, why don't you tell the fans what happened, my friend?
Now, this gauntlet, as you said, was for a shot at the #1 contendership at the upcoming Sacrifice. I believe it's the 17th. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, fans. And hey, it came down to 2 men in the end, the Monster Abyss and Eric Young. Yes, they both eliminated each other to the outer apron, but Eric Young, yes, he caught on to that bottom rope, and Abyss's momentum brought him to the floor, giving Eric Young, yes, my Canadian compadre, the #1 contendership. Now, he had an injured wing at the end of this match, but that didn't stop him from calling out, yes, MVP, who he asked MVP, hey, I've been here for 10 years, I've strived for 10 years, and I've waited long enough, and I don't want to wait till Sacrifice. I want Magnus tonight. And MVP graciously granted him that wish. So I thought this was a great opener to the show. Didn't waste any time, and we had a match, bam, 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 right away. So it was a good start to the show tonight.
Yeah, really exciting start to the show. The only thing I had in my thought process was, you know, Eric, usually when a wrestler says, you know what, I'd rather just have the title match tonight, they usually have no shot at winning the title. That's just the way wrestling is booked.
101, yeah.
But we're going to see what happens a little later tonight. We'll talk about that later tonight. Now, we have a match between Angelina Love, Brittany, Gail Kim, and ODB. Why don't you talk about what happened there, my friend?
Woo! Well, like, this was for the #1 contendership of the Knockouts title, and, you know, being Canadian and all, I had 2 shots at the #1 contendership. We all know, if you watch my stuff, and if you're a fan of the Can-Am Wrestling Show, that I love Gail Kim, and I love Angelina Love. Now, I really like Santana Garrett, a.k.a. Brittany, a lot, and, the sky's the limit for the young lady. Now, this was a good match that was wrestled very well. I was thoroughly entertained. And hey, after Velvet interfered by spraying some hairspray in Gail Kim's face in between the 2 ropes, giving Angelina Love, yes, Lauren Williams, that ultimate opening, yes, to get the 1, 2, 3, becoming the #1 contender for the Knockouts title. So Canada's 2 for 2 already in this show, and we're still early, my brother. So, da, 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 da. Yeah, it's proud to be a Canadian. So thank you, TNA.
Now check this out, man. Now, the whole night was actually really supposed to be, if you go to ImpactWrestling.com, it was really all about the hashtag Wrath of Dixie. Dixie Carter would be back. And basically, Dixie Carter had a couple of, she confronted MVP backstage. And then she went on to, well, why don't you tell us really quickly what happened between her and MVP, and then we'll move on to what happened when she calls out Bully Ray in the ring.
All right, Ray. Well, there were 3 parts to the hashtag Wrath of Dixie, or really was it, fans? Comment below in the comment section and let us know on this interactive social media network. So, yeah, MVP was chilling in his office on the phone. He got off the phone right away because when the boss arrives, hey, even though he's the boss of wrestling operations, Dixie's still the president of the company. Now, He got a little bit of cocky with her. Can I say that on One Wrestling?
Absolutely, my friend.
He got a little smug. There you
Smug.
go, Bill. He got a little smug with Dixie and basically threatened that she had 30 seconds to say her piece before he'd have her removed. Yeah, well, that's when she pulled the "hey, I'm still the president" card. And true enough, she's absolutely right. Now, Dixie wasn't done there, Ray, and she wasn't done, fans, as she made her way down to the ring and called out, "Who? Do you know who I am?" The big bad bully Ray, who came down, and Dixie had a ton of heat, a ton of heat. I really felt bad for her. We got, what were the chants? We don't want you,
Right.
we don't like you, and even chants of
Through the
put
table.
her through a table.
Oh my goodness.
Relentless TNA fans, but I digress. This was entertaining. I enjoyed it. And hey, boom, boom. Just when Dixie was in trouble after she slapped the mic out of Bully Ray's hands, because he was going to say his slogan, she interjected, and said, "Do you know who I am?" And yeah, she was in a rock and a hard place there, Ray. It looked like she was going to go through a table until Bobby Roode came out, saved her butt. But as soon as Bully Ray got the upper hand, Bobby got out of dodge. So it's funny, you know, you'd think that Bobby Roode wouldn't have Dixie Carter's side either way, right?
Well, maybe Bobby Roode knows something that we don't know regarding Dixie's ability to retain or actually to get back control of TNA Wrestling. Remember, you know, MVP did win. He is in charge of TNA Wrestling, but Dixie Carter, she signs the checks, my friend.
President, yeah.
She signs the checks. Now, Dixie Carter on the way out, in a very funny segment, she was actually met by the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, that being the British-born Magnus. And Magnus had some choice words for her. Why don't you tell us what Dixie basically told him on the way out?
You're right. This was an enjoyable, funny, humorous segment, but also a serious segment in the same, as he cut her off on the way out and basically cut into her for not acknowledging him on her way in tonight, as she scolded him off, saying, "You know, I'm here for other business, not you." He's like, "I'm your world champion. I am your business. I'm the centerpiece of the business." Well, she brushed him off. He says, "I know what I have to do tonight." And she's like, "You probably have a plan. My plan is I'm going to have a glass of wine in the limousine. Then I'm going to get on my private jet and I'm going to have another glass of wine. Then I'm going to arrive at my estate and I'm going to lay down, curl up to a nice glass of wine." So she basically sloughed the champ off, basically leaving him saying, "You're the champ. You have a plan. And is that plan abyss? We'll see as the night pans out." So I digress. Good segment. Did you like it, Ray?
It was a very enjoyable segment. And basically, Dixie Carter told Magnus, the World Heavyweight Champion, to, as Daniels would say, read between the lines. And she said, "You know what? I'm done with this. I'm going to go home. I'm going to relax. I don't care." So, dude.
And more importantly, TNA hit a home run on every point up until this point of the show.
It was really good. Now, check this out. Now, apparently there were some issues with the World Tag Team. Now, you know, the BroMans are a funny group of guys, because they have the worst luck in professional wrestling with pulling muscles or not being able to make it to the show. Like Robbie E apparently had some flight issues.
It was a hangnail, Ray.
Right, it was a hangnail, and they weren't able to defend their titles tonight, or so they thought, because Robbie E apparently had some, again, flight issues. Now, MVP, the GM, or the guy that's basically running the show, between the Impact Wrestling,
wrestling operations, yeah.
He made the call and said, "You know what? I'm not letting you guys out that easy." Well, since
no.
Since technically Zima Ion, or DJ Zima, is part of that BroMans clique, kind of a throwback to the fabulous Freebirds with interchangeable tag team partners. Zima Ion actually had to defend the title in place of Robbie E. So why don't you tell us what happened there, my friend?
Well, they faced the Wolves as the Wolves got their title shot, as you said, against Zima Ion and Jesse Goddard, filling in for the missing MIA Robbie E. Now, these guys are the best tag team in the world. They really are, bud. Like in ring. Maybe they can't do it all as a whole, like Bad Influence can with the mic skills, the comedic value, the in ring technical skills. Like I said, the total package. But when it comes to in ring skills, Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards are off the charts. I honestly have no clue as to how they were let go somewhere else. But I digress on that. Anyway, this was a great match. Eddie and Davey looked great, and Davey looked very crisp and washed tonight. He has a new blonde do, by the way, and seems like he's got more character than he's ever had in any other point in time in his career. So he's relishing it. Eddie Edwards is relishing it. But what happens? Bam! Oh, Robbie E. I guess his flight did land. He comes out, interjects himself within the match, getting his partners disqualified. So the Wolves go over here, but not in the way, shape, form, or fashion, or the result that they wanted. So I don't expect this feud to be over with by any shadow of a doubt, my friend.
I actually see the Wolves getting another title shot at Sacrifice. And
Hopefully, yes.
and wouldn't it be great if they put those four guys in a steel cage, keeping Zima Ion outside? I mean, again, this is just my opinion. This is the way I would book it. I would put them in a steel cage, and yeah,
Levitate him like Jimmy Cornette way back in
yeah,
the days in
man.
the
I mean, no
cage.
scaffold matches. If you ever watch back those scaffold matches, they were horrible. It was just the fact that when you're watching the scaffold matches, you're worried about the wrestlers actually falling to the ground. Actually, if you guys know your wrestling history, Jim Cornette did drop to the ground, blowing
Breaking
out.
his knees, right?
No, he blew out both
Blew out his
knees,
knees,
which
yes.
is still it's horrible, dude. The guy took a horrible bump. But anyway,
And Bobby Eaton told us in the spare time after shooting when he was a guest on our show that he wasn't really a fan of those matches. They were very slippery up top. They
horrible.
weren't very sturdy. So, yeah.
Now, Andre, we're almost at the main event of the evening, but before that, there was a segment. Now, we know that the creepy bastard himself, Samuel Shaw,
That's right. That's right.
he's basically in love with Christy Hemme, and he has these delusions that Christy Hemme's in love with him. So, why don't you tell the fans about a little bit about what Christy Hemme did and what basically almost happened to our friend Samuel Shaw?
Well, this was a long-winded segment, but still a good segment. The portion with Christy bringing Samuel Shaw out to the ring, basically using her sexuality, subjecting it on him, seducing, so to speak. Basically got him to close his eyes, got him to admit that he trusted her. And what happened? Kenny Anderson pulls up in a nut house van, a psychiatric ward van, and he made his way to the ring as Christy rubbed her way all around Samuel Shaw. I don't really want to get into that part, but long story short, Ken Anderson comes in the ring, attacks Samuel Shaw, throws him over the top rope, drags him out to the van, actually gets him in that van. Shine on! Gets him into that van, but like a fool, went to check the handle one too many times as the door got rammed open. Samuel kind of rolled out like, it was really funny. If you missed the segment, check it out on YouTube at Impact Wrestling. And yeah, he ran away. So Christy Hemme was making fun of Samuel while Ken Anderson was wisping him to that psychiatric ward van. So if I were you, Christy Hemme, I'd keep looking over every shoulder because Samuel Shaw is free. He's out there, and you don't know what he's going to do next.
I would definitely watch my back if I were her, and also her backside. But anyway,
That's a gorgeous title, isn't it?
oh, it is. It is actually, this championship belt is my favorite out of any title belts besides the Winged Eagle. I gotta tell you, Andre, very rare in anything does a person get to fulfill their dream, but not only fulfill their dream, but accomplish or be at the highest peak or reach the top of the mountain within the height of that dream, if that makes any sense.
You betcha.
And listen,
Pinnacle.
the pinnacle, and this weekend we had Daniel Bryan in WWE, who actually reached that pinnacle finally. Yes, 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 and he actually won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now we have a gentleman by the name of Eric Young. Now Eric Young has, now you said it in your review at Andre Corbeil too, that Eric Young is one of the, or the closest thing to an original that we have.
Yeah, him,
TNA
Kaz,
original.
Daniels, and Samoa Joe to a degree, but not really. Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Samoa Joe more of an ROH guy moving into TNA, if I'm correct. So this match, watching this match, man, Eric Young just showed so much heart. I mean, he kicked out of so many pinning predicaments, I guess you could say. He actually, I thought he was done. And again, now like I said, Andre, usually when they book a wrestler to win, let's say a gauntlet match or a three-way or anything, and then they're supposed to have a title match at the pay-per-view, and they say, no, I want the title match tonight. 9 out of 10 times, almost 10 out of 10 times, the guy will either get DQ'd, it'll be a
Sell an injury that'll
right,
lag on to the main event,
right.
yada yada, be winded, run out of gas.
It'll be a count out. It'll be something that will stretch it out into the
You betcha.
pay-per-view.
You betcha.
Well, Andre, why don't you? The reason why I'm holding this gorgeous TNA World Heavyweight title is because something fantastic happened tonight. Why don't you tell us, man?
Did it?
I think so.
Well, oh, Canada. Yes, Eric Young versus Magnus in the main event tonight was a great match as the underdog came in to face the paper champion in a great match, some nice wrestling, and the fans were invested in this match as well as Eric Young. Yeah, he ends it all with a stiff pile driver to Magnus. 1, 2, 3. Realizing that dream after 10 plus years in the company, going through multiple gimmicks, good and bad, and hitting a home run and making it work with no matter what gimmick or role he was given. So this guy's talented in more ways than one, a total package, so to speak. So I'm proud of him, and just like Chris Sabin that put his time in, that a lot of people crapped on during his title reign. I'm going to give it a chance because like any job, Ray, any job, no matter what each and every one of you fans do in your everyday life, if you put your time in, you deserve A, promotion, B, recognition, and that goes in turn for the wrestling industry as well. You do your time and you do well with things, basically.
Now, the one thing I'll say about the whole Eric Young title reign now at this point, and I'm gonna actually refer back to Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin, Eric Young has something that Chris Sabin, I think, as a face, didn't have. I think Chris Sabin charisma. Now, as a heel, Chris Sabin has a hell of a lot more charisma, and maybe the title run should have been done as a heel instead of a baby face. But they really wanted to put over the underdog winning the titles thing, which I got to tell you something. Eric Young deserves it. Eric Young is a great in-ring technician. He's a really good wrestler.
When he's serious, you can't take
really,
anything
really good. And I was very happy to see that Eric Young actually finally, after years and years, almost basically a decade or more, being a part of Total Nonstop Action, wearing silly costumes, being part of Team Canada, being the joke of Team Canada at one point in juncture. I mean, the guy the guy would basically walk down. When the pyro would go off, he would basically jump and be scared. But you know what, man? He's put his time in. He's become I guess a kind of a television star with the fishing show, and
that show's massive.
And you know what, dude? Let me tell you something.
I bet you that show gets just as good ratings as TNA does.
It's a good show. I've actually watched it, and I don't even go fishing. So, here's the deal, Andre. Eric Young, congratulations. He is the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion now.
Angelina Love next.
Now, the only question before we get off, the only question I have for the fans here, OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestling video is, Eric Young basically got a fair shot at the TNA World Heavyweight title. Is Samoa Joe going to be happy with the fact that he has yet to get a fair shot? at the TNA World Heavyweight title.
Lord knows MVP tried, Ray, but the ego, the anger, the uncontrolled anger of Samoa Joe getting in MVP's face didn't really vote or bide well for him. So maybe the outcome would have been a little bit different if Samoa Joe had controlled his anger and directed it and projected it in the right shape, form, or fashion. I want to point something out before we roll on, pertaining and relating to the titles. Now, this is a man that's done something nobody else in TNA's history has done. We all know that the phenomenal one AJ Styles is a multi-time Triple Crown winner, and for that matter, the Samoa Submission Machine, Samoa Joe, is a Triple Crown winner as well. Well, this makes Eric Young a Triple Crown Plus winner, also being the Knockouts Tag Team Champion. So he's a triple. I said it again. A Triple Crown Plus winner.
He is a Triple Crown Plus winner. Andre, listen, before
so that makes him a standout.
He is a standout. I mean, the guy is great, man. He's so funny, so fun in the ring, and again, one of the best in-ring technicians.
I want a serious Eric Young, and I'm glad.
I think we're gonna see a serious Eric Young. Now, Andre, listen, I say this every single week here at my show, and I say it on our show at the Can-Am Wrestling Show. I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us here at One Wrestling. Follow us here at OneWrestling.com, YouTube / One Wrestling Video. Follow us on Twitter at One Wrestling. Follow Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show, and of course, follow Andre Corbeil. Why don't you run your promo, brother?
Woo! You can tune in on Andre_Corbeil on Twitter, Wrestling News Talk, the Facebook fan page, and as always, on YouTube at Andre Corbeil 2. I'm a knowledgeable, passionate wrestling fan. I know each and every one of you guys tuning in, supporting these two social media networks, OneWrestling.com, One Wrestling Video, Andre Corbeil 2, Wrestling News Talk. Our knowledgeable, passionate wrestling fans too. And don't forget to follow the Can-Am Wrestling Show on Twitter as well, at Can-Am Wrestling. So please, I implore you, if you're a fan of the show and respect the legacy and all the hard work that Ray and I have put Can-Am Wrestling Show, all 24 episodes, please hashtag reinstate Andre Corbeil space at YouTube.
All right, Andre, again, before I let everybody go, please, guys, like I said, even if you're not a big-time wrestling fan, even if you don't like Andre Corbeil, there's always been a point...
How can you not like this cheery guy?
There has always been a point in time in everyone's life where they have been held down and you have to fight back. Ladies and gentlemen, fight back against trolls, marks, and haters. Fight back against big YouTube, okay, for actually taking down this channel without investigating, and they suspended the channel before without investigating.
Yeah,
guys,
that's why this Andre Corbeil 2 channel was created in the first place.
Well, guys, listen, you know, we're all champions. We're all in this for one thing, my friend, and that is, Andre,
wrestling, whether it be TNA, WWE, Global Force coming very, very soon. Yeah, we're all in this for one thing, wrestling. Thanks for having me on OneWrestling.com, my friend.
It has been a pleasure as always. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, tune into the Can-Am Wrestling Show, hashtag Can-Am Wrestling Show, every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, for the time being, at Andre Corbeil 2, the number 2, on YouTube. All you gotta do is go on YouTube search bar, search Andre Corbeil 2,
and look for this good-looking mug.
Look for, yes, right.
I know my mirror's lying to me.
Look for this good-looking mug, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you. I will see you next week. Andre, thanks for coming on.
We'll see you at the matches.
See you at the matches. Peace.